Hello, and welcome to our 17th episode of Morrowind Modding Manors, where we take a look at 3 different house mods to try and find your dream home in the land of Vvardenfell. And as always, I'm your host, Dark Elf Guy, and today we're going to be taking a look at 3 rather different and certainly unique mods, each with their own curious designs. And, well, I'll let you guys decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. In any event, as always, down links right down below. So let's go ahead and get started with our first house mod, Mormegil Manor by Calislahn. And this mod adds a new Imperial-style house to the Ascanials region, as indeed all of today's house mods are located in the verdant greens of Vvardenfell's most hospitable region. Though whether you can actually call this a house is rather up to a debate, as indeed, from the outside here it looks more like an Imperial keep, more ready to fend off an invasion than to welcome visitors. But perhaps that's what you're looking for in a house, who am I to judge? In any event, this home is located just a little ways up the road from Pleasiad, and indeed, you can see this small farming town from the upper level balcony here. And heading inside, on the first floor, you'll find a set of common rooms, including a lounge with a fireplace, a dining room table, with enough seats for, some company, and a handful of bookshelves for showing off your treasured possessions to, your guests here. And anyway, also on the first floor here, you'll find a study and alchemy lab, which includes labeled ingredient jars, some empty shelves for you to use, alchemical equipment, and also a set of, fairy orbs, which apparently summon fairies to store your ingredients, heal and restore your attributes, and also to offer enchanting and spellmaking services. And finally, on the first floor here, you'll find the master bedroom, which is a bit Spartan. For bed, a fireplace, and a closet, and that's really just about it. There's not a huge amount of decor in here. Now, the rest of the house consists of a number of large display and storage rooms, with dozens of bookshelves, tables, display stands, chests, and pretty much everything else you need to display hundreds, if not thousands, of items and treasures from your travels. And when I say the rest of the house, I do mean there's literally 9 separate display rooms, one after the other, after the other, after the other, including armor and display mannequins, which there's also quite a few of, probably about 100 or so, which is probably more than you'll ever really need. And unlike a lot of house mods out there, Mormegil Manor appears to have been designed for functionality and practicality, more so than really anything else. There's basically no wasted or aesthetic rooms here. Everything serves a purpose of just providing you with more space to store and shelf your stuff in. And anyway, overall, Mormegil Manor is certainly a rather convenient player home, located close to Pleasiad, within relative walking distance, and it features an alchemy lab, including ingredient sorting, enchanting, and spellmaking services, armor display mannequins, and just tons and tons of storage. If you're looking for just a strictly, practical house mod, and don't mind the overly bright and just unatmospheric interior lighting, this is probably a good mod to check out here. Next up, we have Sarkorn's Mountain Retreat by Sarkorn. And, well, this is probably one of the more, I would say, unusual mods in today's lineup. And adds a new home to the Ascanials region, but unlike the house mod we just looked at, this one is, well, on top of a small mountain. Though really, I would say it's more of a ridge, but, minor details. And anyway, it's actually built over one of the small ponds that borders the Ascadian Bitter Coast Divide, with an oddly snowy getaway, and surrounded by fir trees. It's really a bit odd, having snow in the Ascanials region, but it kind of works here. And anyway, moving on inside, you'll find a rather cozy home to call your own, complete with a modest entry, including a lounge, a dining room, some bookshelves for displaying items, and a small bar area and kitchenette, part of which is already pre-decorated. And upstairs, you'll find the master bedroom, including a cozy fireplace and a small study. And really, out of all the homes that, we'll be looking at in today's episode, this is probably the most atmospheric and cozy feeling one. And indeed, it's the only house mod in our lineup that uses, dynamic lighting. So while it might be a bit on the small side, it certainly makes up for it with a certain amount of just, charm here. But anyway, overall, this house comes with a hidden away mountain retreat, including a minimal amount of storage and, space for displaying items, but otherwise, just a few other major amenities. It has a modest commute to either Pleasiad or Sedanine, and of course, it's a fairly nice and atmospheric home. And for those looking for, something just a bit different from the typical house mod, yet with a cozy interior, this might be a good one to check out here. And finally, our last house mod is a foreign quarter Abode by GunMetalGray. And as the name would imply here, this mod adds a new apartment to the foreign quarter canton in Vvardenfell City, located on the western side of the city here. And inside, you'll find a rather unique looking but nonetheless interesting home to call your own. You'll enter first into something of a lounge, and right off to the side here, you'll find a mixed kitchen and a dining room, which has a pretty unique layout, with the kitchen forming a sort of bar, complete with bar stools, and the dining room table off to the side here. And the kitchen comes complete with a small pantry, a cooking area, and behind the counter you'll find some additional storage, including an upper-level set of racks for, holding drinks and other various dishes, as well as cabinet space for, storing other just kitchen-related items. And all this has been built with just vanilla Morrowind assets, which really shows just a level of just creativity on the author's part here. And anyway, moving on, you also find a small study and a library with a number of bookshelves here that you can use for storing books, or displaying items if you so desire. And of course, there's a desk here as well. And you also note that there's a number of just unique paintings in here, which again use vanilla assets, but used in just such a way as to make for a really rather interesting design. But just moving on to the last room here, you'll find the master bedroom, which includes a modest bit of storage, another desk, and well, that's really just about it. And overall, this is a fairly unique home, with some interesting designs that might be of particular interest for, interior modders. But otherwise, this home does have some basic amenities, such as some storage and, space for displaying items, and a short commute to the rest of Vvardenfell here. And once again, there's no real atmospheric or dynamic lighting here, which is really the biggest complaint I have about it. The right lighting settings would have done a lot to just improve this home, but if you can ignore that, it's certainly a nice apartment to check out here. And anyway, that wraps up this episode of Morrowind Modding Manors, and as always, down links are down below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.